Welcome back to True Crime News. If you are new to our channel, welcome aboard. I'm your host Ted Corner. If you're interested in true crime in general, consider subscribing. Let's jump right into the news. Shannan Watts' parents have come forward since Chris Watts' parents Cynthia and Ronnie Watts were in the media a couple of days ago, telling how they believe their son Chris did not kill Bella and Celeste, but they believe Chris' earlier statement that Shannan killed the little girls and he killed her in a fit of rage. Shannan Watts' parents, Frank and Sandra Rzucek, are furious at Chris Watts' parents after their media appearance where they blame Shannan for the killings of little Bella 4 years and Celeste 3 years. Frank and Sandra says Cynthia and Ronnie's statements are vicious, grotesque and false, while saying their daughter Shannan was a wonderful soul. Shannan's parents Frank and Sandra told they were stunned by what the Watts had said, that Chris should have been railroaded into a confession to avoid an execution, and that Chris should have been in an abusive relationship with their daughter. Cynthia and Ronnie Watts had sustained their son was not a psychopath, despite the fact he has admitted to murdering his 15-week pregnant wife in August of this year, then hiding her body in a shallow grave and putting the bodies of their little daughters in oil tanks. Shannan's parents Frank and Sandra Rzucek have made a statement telling their daughter was a faithful wife to Chris, and she was the most gentle and loving mother in the world to their children Bella and Celeste, and her unborn son Nico. They continued telling she was the best daughter any parents could ever hope for. They said everybody who knew Shannan knows this is true, saying even Chris knew it, but he still chose to murder Shannan, Bella, Celeste and Nico. He chose to dump the bodies of the little girls in oil tanks and lie about it until he could lie no more. In Frank and Sandra's opinion, he pleaded guilty because he is guilty. Shannan's parents said Monday evening the parents of Chris decided to give an interview attempting to defend their son Chris. While doing so, they had the need to make vicious, grotesque and utterly false statements about Shannan. But their false statements, hurtful and inaccurate, can never change the truth about Shannan, and the statement will never alter the truth about the crimes their son Chris Watts committed. The family of Shannan is fully prepared to protect the memory and reputation of their daughter. At his home in Aberdeen, Frank said he didn't want to comment further until Chris is sentenced on Monday next week. Chris was arrested in August after he made a shifty television appearance pleading for his family to come home. In custody, he told Shannan had strangled the girls after he told her he was going to leave her for another woman. But last week, he suddenly changed his mind, pleading guilty to all 3 murders, thereby making a deal that will spare him the death penalty, but he will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. The new information made Ronnie and Cynthia Watts, who are the parents of Chris, come forward, telling there is more to the story, mentioning the nature of their son's marriage, telling how Shannan isolated him from them. Cynthia Watts has mentioned how her son changed after he met Shannan and that their marriage was hard. Cynthia said as far as she was concerned, the relationship Chris had was hard with her. By her, she meant Shannan. Continued to say she, Cynthia, couldn't do anything right, while Ronnie Watts, who is the father of Chris, added, put it that way, quote, Shannan, she was, you have to know her to be around her. They told how their son had always been easygoing and that he didn't have a temper, despite him admitting killing Shannan. They told he had been into sports since he was 5 up to he was 17 years old. Continuing to tell there is no person you can talk to who will say anything about Chris. He was normal. He didn't have a temper. Chris is just like Dad, easygoing, just rolls off his back. Cynthia said, this is my son, he is not a monster. Knowing Chris strangled Shannan and that he had hidden the little girls' bodies in oil tanks, going on television lying, his parents still do not believe he killed his daughters. They can't believe he killed the girls no matter what, so they believe in what he told at first. His father Ronnie said the way he was crying and everything, he believes it, referring to what Chris had said days after his arrest. Cynthia and Ronnie Watts went into recalling what Chris had told them. Quote, "He said, 'I'm sorry, I went into a rage and I killed her.' And he said, 'I am so sorry, I ruined your life. I ruined my life,' Cynthia told. After the fact, with the bodies, he said, quote, 'Dad, I could not put the girls with her after what she did. I could not put the girls with her,' Ronnie added. Cynthia added she had tried talking him out of the guilty plea and asked him why he took it, but she was completely shut down by his defense attorney. Cynthia Watts told, if Chris is not going to fight for himself, she will fight for him. All the comments about Shannan were met with fury by her family, who said the Watts' attempt to clear their son's name is at the expense of their daughter Shannan's memory. If you haven't watched our other videos about this case, we have made them into a series as new information emerges steadily. We will leave a link for the other videos on the screen and in the description. Please subscribe to our channel for updates about this case, other cases, and new cases. If you want to be sure to keep up with the latest in true crime, consider subscribing and remember to click the little bell to get notifications when we have a new video up for you. To get all the news we share, make sure to follow us on all our social media sites. You find the links in the description.